Fred, I will start now.
Yes, go ahead and start. Yes.
Okay. Elma, we're good. Okay. So, did you already watch this? Send the link to Ivan. Okay. Good morning to all of you. And thank you so much for the time that you have spared. This will be a 1 hour and 30 minutes, or perhaps we will be done before 1 hour and 30 minutes. Thank you to my supervisor, Mary Beth, David Martinez, as well as the president of the governing board, Mr. David, of course, Barandi, for giving me this opportunity to conduct this seminar. And this is considered as well a training because we are going to train you on how to wear your N95 prior to and after the fit testing. I am sure all of you have heard N95 fit testing, but you have never experienced what a fit testing is. And so this presentation is very important for all administrators, the DON, the infection preventionists, the DSD, because the role or the purpose, the goal of the N95 fit testing is to add a layer of defense to all of our frontline healthcare workers. We are not in the business of lip service, providing assurance or comfort to our employees. We have to do it in action, in deeds. So other than the strict screening protocols that we have when they come into the building, the information, education, training seminars that you conduct on the COVID-19, and as well as the COVID-19 mitigation protocols that you have, the isolation unit, the quarantine unit, the donning and the doffing. So these are all the mechanisms that you have in order geared towards the protection of the employees. But this time, we are going to add another layer that will protect our employees. So I'm going to share with you my knowledge, not necessarily my expertise, because we are also new in this area, meaning my staff, Elma, Elizabeth, and myself. So the title of my presentation is The Basics of N95 Fit Testing. Okay, hold on. Normally, when I conduct my training, you have noticed it, that before I dive into the training or the subject matter of my presentation, I normally, as role of risk management, have to share to you data on the current numbers of COVID-19 that we have around the world, United States, the state of the nation, in California, where we are located, and in Arizona, as well as the county. That is very important because nowadays, in our infection mitigation protocol, COVID-19 protocol, we have to conduct series of testing, COVID-19 testing. So it all depends on the community spread. So we'll start with global. And this data is based as of yesterday. And where we are right now, it is not a good number. Global, 28,324,871. Of course, this is far off from the Spanish pandemic flu, where half of the population around the world died. And we are at 7.4 billion in the world, so the numbers are still more or less optimistic. But then, the deaths we have is 913,913, close to 1 million since March. And I took out the top 5 countries in the world where the rate of COVID-19 is high. Number 1, of course, as you can see here, it's United States of America, 6.5 million. And the deaths, 196,000. So, and counting every day. And we are also part of this data, confirmed cases, the residents that you have. That's, unfortunately, we have at least 1 or 2 employees. And just yesterday, one of our employees, Mayor Sol, rest in peace, died of COVID-19. She was in the ventilator for more than 3 months. So my friends, ladies and gentlemen, especially you, the department heads, the DON, the administrator, infection preventionists, we have to take our job very seriously, all geared towards the protection of our employees. Provide them the necessary PPEs, and this fit testing will surely help in protecting our employees. Next to USA, we have India. India surpassed Brazil. India is the second highest population around the world, next to China, 4.5 million. Their deaths, it's 76,000. Next to India, Brazil, 4.2 million. That's 129,000. And not surprising with Brazil, the president there, Bolsonaro, he does not observe, does not believe in science also. And so that's why we have these confirmed cases and number of deaths. Then followed by Russia and Peru. Now we'll go to United States of America. Number 1, out of the, I would say 50, of course, 50 states in the nation, we are number 1. California, confirmed cases, 751,747. That's 14,090. Included are our residents as well. And as I've said earlier, 2 of our employees. And since we have client facilities in Arizona, they belong to the top 10. You see, if you do this counting, they are number 7. 207,002. That is 5,273. But of course, if you look at this data, New York has the most number of deaths, 33,109. Why? Because New York has a lot of long-term care or nursing homes, and including New Jersey. There are a lot of skilled nursing facilities there and assisted living. So if you take a look at this, New Jersey, they are the second highest, 16,136. So what is the message that risk management would like to drive to all of our client facilities? Our residents, your clients, they are elderly and dependent adult, and it's a given. They have a compromised health conditions. So that's why we really have to fortify our efforts in protecting our residents, and it all starts with us, meaning our frontline healthcare workers. There is no room for omission, for malfeasance. We really have to take proactive steps in protecting our employees. And the N-95 is very relevant in relation to the fit testing that would protect our residents, co-workers, and of course, most especially our frontline healthcare workers. Now, this one speaks about the community spread. California, out of 58 counties, we have 58 counties in California. Los Angeles, we are number 1. Confirmed cases, 251,024. That's 6,128 and counting. All of these figures that you see here, they are counting. Every day, they grow. Why? Not unless we have the antiviral drugs and the vaccine, these figures will go up every day. And so while waiting for these vaccines, therefore, it is our business to take care of our employees and residents by providing them, again, all the necessary protection. We have to eliminate, we have to substitute, we have to mitigate, come up with administrative protocols, engineering protocols, and of course, lastly, the PPEs. What I said pertains to the hierarchy of control. How to mitigate our exposure. So that hierarchy of control is very important. And we have been doing this already. We are already doing this. But we should not rest our guard. We should move forward every day. Complacency or laziness will lead to more confirmed cases, especially recklessness, if we are not going to implement the policies and procedures to a T, we are going to end up with more confirmed cases and worse, serious illness, which will lead to death, which we have already seen and experienced. And so, Riverside County, I included Riverside because we have at least 5 client facilities in the area. You see, you came in at number 2 out of 58 counties. 54,868. That's 1,094. Tulare, that is where Sierra Valley is located. That's the county. Number 13 out of 58. Confirmed cases, 15,043. That's 246. Arizona, we have a county in Arizona. We have a facility in Arizona. There are 15 counties. Of course, number 1 is Maricopa. That's the county where Phoenix is located. Pinal, you're not number 4. Confirmed cases, 10,142. That's 191. This is very important because of the COVID-19 testing that you have to undertake. Remember, the yellow, the green, and the red, they are basically grounded on your community spread. How many times are you going to do your COVID testing? It all depends on the community spread. Are you in the yellow? Are you in the green? Or are you in the red? Because if you are in the red, I guess, it requires twice a week. And if you belong to the other color based on your community spread, once a week. And I guess if you are yellow, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, perhaps it's only once a month. So community spread, therefore, is very important. And you have to monitor. Do not wait for CDPH or the Department of Public Health to give out the community spread every day. Administrator DON. At the end of the day, you can just Google it and you can see the breakdown by county so that at least you can take proactive steps in that regard. Now, done with that. So let's go to my presentation now. This presentation is based on the current United States, both the federal and state OSHA requirements. So when I say state, this pertains to California. But more or less, Arizona, we have the same requirements as California. In my earlier presentation on Cal-OSHA guidelines for employers, out of the 50 states of the nation, there are 22 state-approved plans. OSHA, federal, gives the legal right for the state to come up with their own policies and procedures. They can come up with certain regulations or laws. In other words, the federal OSHA regulations, they only set the minimum standard. And so therefore, the state OSHA approved plan, which includes Arizona and California, has their own, meaning in addition to the federal OSHA, they have their own OSHA guidelines that would protect the employees. Always remember this. OSHA does not think of the residents. So for now, forget your residents. For now, only think of your employees. This is what OSHA is all about. The mandate is for us to protect our employees as to their safety, their security, and health well-being in the workplace. So my presentation does not only pertains to the current guidelines or the laws of the federal and state OSHA as it pertains to the COVID-19, but including their interim enforcement guidelines. When we say interim enforcement guidelines, these are guidelines that they came out with as a result of the pandemic, the national emergency, and the World Health Organization declaring COVID-19 a global pandemic. They have to respond in order to protect the employees. So all this information that I'm sharing to you, they are current. But of course, everything is evolving. We may never know. in the future or tomorrow, they will again revise or come up with new guidelines. And among the states of the nation, the most strictest is California, OSHA. So when they come into your building, I'll tell you, they will ask a lot of questions, a lot of documentation. And one of them is N-95 fit testing. Did you train? That's number one. Did you conduct N-95 fit testing? And on top of it all, from the outset, do you have a written program called the Respiratory Protection Program? You must have that. Okay? That is a federal OSHA requirement. And this is being triggered when you have an employee. Remember, it's an employee. When you have an employee that is seriously ill as a result of the COVID-19. Or if you have an employee that died as a result of the COVID-19. That will trigger an investigation. It could be remote, it could be virtual, it could be in person. They will come into the building. I should know this because we are required to report to Cal OSHA within 8 hours upon knowledge by management if there is an employee that is seriously ill or died as a result of the COVID-19. Why? Because it is a hazard. Biological hazard. Infectious disease is a hazard. So therefore, within 8 hours, we have to report. And when we report, my friends, we have to prepare everything because they will ask a lot of documentations. And based on my experience, it took us at least 3 inches or 4 inches perhaps of documents to provide to the nearest Cal OSHA district office. You see? So that's how strict they are. And they liberally interpret all of these laws always in favor of the employees against the employer. So these are the governing laws on respiratory fit testing. Respiratory Protection Program. This is a federal law. So all of you, please, you must have a respiratory protection program in writing, in place. Next, if you take a look at this, CCR. CFR means Code of Federal Regulations, federal law. CCR, California Code of Regulations. Okay? California. So if you notice here, CCR, there are 2. So meaning in California, on top of the respiratory protection program, you must have in place the Aerosol Transmissible Diseases Exposure Control Plan or ATD Exposure Control Plan, plus the personal protective devices. Trust me, believe me, they're going to ask these particular documents when OSHA comes into your building. Why? Because on 2 occasions when they came in, we have to provide it. And it's not only a simple paper where it's a template because you have to put who is the program administrator you put. So there are certain the responsibilities. What are the kind of pathogens that you have? The kind of bacteria, the viruses, you have to fill it up. Okay, so you have to go through it. It is not just a simple paper that you have to put in a binder. You have to work through it. So this will just give you the key elements of a written respiratory protection program. Basically, there are 7. Just like the injury and illness prevention program. Yes. Remember? You must have your IIPP or INIPP or I2P2 other than the written respiratory protection program, the ATD control exposure plan, and your personal protective devices plan. So let's focus on the respiratory protection program because this is the mother of all regulations or guidelines that pertains to the fit testing. So if you take a look at this, number 6, training, and I encircled fit testing. This is our subject matter for today. It is a requirement, part of our written respiratory protection program. In your infection control or the focus survey that you have, it is my understanding that surveyors are now asking. Aningala already alerted me. He said, Joey, they are starting to ask whether our frontline health workers, especially those who are rendering service, heroic services, courageous services in our COVID wing and in your PUIs or quarantine wings, they are asking whether the N95 that they are using has been fit tested initially or annually. So that's why this triggered risk management upon the direction of my supervisor, Marybeth, to conduct the fit testing. But we cannot do the fit testing not unless I have to train you. You see, 6, training and fit testing. So this is part of the training. So that we don't want to put the cart before the horse. We go there, fit testing, and then later we will train you. No, train you now so that when we do the fit testing, everyone are on board. They already know what we are doing in the facility when we do the fit testing. So N95 is a respirator, right? So we need to know what is a respirator. A respirator, of course, is a personal protective device that covers your nose, your mouth, your face, and your head. Yes, against hazardous atmospheres. See? The environment is an atmosphere. But there are hazards in the environment. These are what you call aerosol diseases, transmissible diseases. It could be a large droplet. It could be small particles. So the one that would protect you would be your respirator, right? So N95 is a respirator. So we have to train our employees how to wear the N95 respirator. You just give a respirator, wear the respirator. Do you think that would protect the employee? No. Because there is a way on how to use this respirator. So respirators are divided again into 2. The tight fitting, and the loose fitting. The N95 falls under the tight fitting. There is a strap, right? 2 straps, okay? There's 2 straps. In order to snug, okay? In order to press the respirator into your face, that would cover your nose and your mouth, starting from the chin all the way to the bridge of your nose. You cannot go above, okay, the bridge of your nose, because that will also cover your eyes. Then you cannot see. Because what is important, it must be comfortable. It must be safety. It is not only fitness, it must be comfortable and safe to the employees. So your N95 respirator is a half mask, okay? From the hairline, okay, here, top of your head, all the way down. See? But only tight-fitting respirators are subject to the fit testing. You always remember that. Loose fitting, no. But it's already loose. There's nothing to do fit testing. The purpose of a fit testing is to see to it that is properly sealed. There are no leakages. Atmospheric environment, hazardous air, the vapors, etc. will not infiltrate towards your nose and your mouth. Why? Because ultimately the purpose is to protect our respiratory system. Respiratory. Okay? The lungs that we breathe. That is the purpose. So when it's loose fitting, nothing to fit test. Okay? So you always remember that. So let's move forward. So therefore, half mask is a respirator that is tight fitting. Now, this is just for educational purposes. N95 respirators versus surgical mask. We all know, and all the clinical consultants, they have educated me. We only wear surgical mask only in the general population. But if you go to your isolation, your quarantine, your PUI, you don't wear your surgical mask because it is not tight-fitting. It will not protect you for those aerosol droplets, whether large or small, to go inside your respiratory system. So there is a vast difference, big difference, between N95 and surgical masks. Both of them basically are PPEs, that are used to protect the wearer from airborne particles and from the liquid contaminating the face. The splash, okay? When you irrigate, when you attend to your residence, boom, splash, protected. Otherwise, if no protective device, then you inhale, it goes into you, then you end up 7 feet below the ground, eventually. And the one that regulates the N95 versus the surgical mask are the following. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, in short CDC. NIOSH, you always remember this word. Memorize. National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health. Why did I say memorize? We will not fit test your employees with an N95 if it is not labeled NIOSH. So if there is no NIOSH mark or label in your N95, you see here, NIOSH, you see? If there is none, we will not proceed. Now assuming the N95 that we are going to fit test, there is no NIOSH, but the box where all of these are located, there is a NIOSH label, good to go. Other than that, useless, because 101% they will fail in the fit testing. Because this one, meaning, if NIOSH labeled, it has gone through a very stringent process, okay, with the NIOSH, testing the materials, the potency, the strength of the materials, okay, including the seal. That's why they pass the test. Okay? So always remember NIOSH, and of course, it is also being regulated by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Surgical mask, no, it's only the FDA. So moving forward, if you notice here, the difference. N95 respirator, NIOSH evaluated, tested, and approved. Surgical mask, you don't see NIOSH here. You don't see CDC. What we have is ASTM certified and FDA approved for surgery. You see? So what is ASTM? American Society for Testing Materials. FDA is Food and Drug Administration. You see? Surgical, nothing to do. NIOSH, no. And then, surgical mask, it is fluid resistant and provides protection against large droplets, splashes, and bodily fluids. But it does not protect small aerosol particles. You see? No, this COVID-19, we know when they cough, when they talk, when they speak, and if you are within 6 feet, there are small particles. Now, if you're using a surgical mask, it will penetrate because there is no seal, and you end up COVID, right? But if you wear N95, properly snug, properly fitted, even though you are within 6 feet of a person, whether symptomatic or asymptomatic, if they talk, if they cough, if they sing, it will not penetrate. See? Because surgical mask is loose fitting, N95 is tight fitting. And most important, okay, your mask, okay, must filter out, filter. It must filter. Filter out, these hazardous particles, airborne particles. Your surgical mask, no. The material, no, it cannot protect. None. Against small airborne particles. But an N95, it filters out at a minimum, 95%. So that's why you call it N95. 95 is not just a mere numerical number. 95% employees, we are assuring you that at least 95% of the small particles, airborne, and the large drop outlets will not penetrate your N95. You see the difference here? Why? Because in a surgical mask, automatic, whatever you inhale, because there is no, it's loose. It will enter on the sides. You see? Even though there is this like a foil or a thin that you will press into your bridge nose, okay? Here on the side, it will still enter. But with the N95, here, no, it cannot. It will not penetrate. there is minimal leakage. But as I've said, we still have to fit test you. Even though you will feel comfortable, oh Joey, no need for fit testing because everything is okay. Okay, everything is properly secured. Okay, I did a seal. No, my friend. We need to use a method to determine, because there is such thing an assigned fit protection factor. Okay, the ambient air from the outside, concentration outside, concentration inside, negative pressure, we have to test. Okay? And that is science-based. And that is what we're going to do. Now, this is again educational. Actually, if I just go to the fit testing, done in 15 minutes. But this is training. So all respirators are called filtering face piece respirators. Face piece because it filters. Respirators to protect, okay, your respiratory system. So you get confused. What is this alphabet soup of letters? N-95, we have P-95, R-95, N-99, P-99, R-99, N-100, P-100, R-1. You get confused, right? So what are these things? And worse, we now have KN-95. Okay, my friends, I will train you. So we already know, the numbers are not just numbers. So when the numbers, you see, like 95, so it filters out 95% of airborne particles from the environment. Okay? So if it is 99, it filters out 99%. If it's 100, it's not 100. 99.7% it filters out, meaning the material, it will not penetrate your nose and your mouth. It will not go there inside. Right? And she asked the question, then if that's the case, why are we getting 95? We should get the 100, right? It's common sense. My friends, other than they are expensive, the 99 and the 100, they are expensive. And besides, in the kind of industry that we are in, we don't use the P and the R. See? Why? If you notice below this matrix here, N, non-resistant to oil. R stands for somewhat resistant to oil. P, strongly resistant to oil. You see? The reason why we're using N, because the kind of airborne particles or the healthcare-associated infections that we have in the ecosystem, environmental system that we have in the building, what permeates in the air is not oil-based. It's not oil-based. You see? So why are we going to use the R and the P when these aerosol-borne particles are not oil-based? Oil-based, my friends, are in the agriculture or in the construction industry. Pesticides and solvent. When you spray, boom, okay? It is oil-based, so it permeates in the air. So that's why you have to wear a P or an R. Okay? Now, in our case, no need. So that's why we are using the N95. That would filter 95% of the small and big droplets. So I hope this will help you so that you'll not get confused. Knowledge is very important, okay? You rise above the ordinary if you are knowledgeable. Always remember that. Reading is very important. So, if you go to your right-hand side, okay, I will not confuse you. This is educational. FFP versus P versus N versus KN. Do not worry, my friends. FFP, this pertains to the respirators standard in the European Union countries. You see that flag here? European Union. So our N95, their version is FFP1. See? And then the P1, they also have like the N, the R, and the P. You see? That is what they have. So when you see FFP and P, this pertains to European Union standards. See America, United States, N. KN is China. China. See? Their version of N95 is KN95. So automatic, my friends. When you see KN, that is made in China. You have to be very careful. Very careful. CDC and FDA, they have disapproved at least 60 respirators from China because they found NIOS conducted a research, they are all substandard. So when they are substandard, meaning it will not protect our employees. So do not buy KN95. And please do not give that to the employee to wear KN95 because you're giving them false sense of security. And we will be negligent. We will end up with problem here. And do not give me a KN95 to do a fit testing because I will tell you, 101% he will fail. This kind of respirator will fail in the fit testing. Okay? So move forward. So a tight-fitting respirator performance, basically, okay, because what we have in N95 is tight-fitting, not loose-fitting. The purpose is to protect our respiratory system. And because it depends on the interactions between, okay, the filtration. So the material, the kind of material that you're wearing, the N95, small and large drop outlets, okay? Does it filter out when we wear it? Okay? Now, assuming that the material filters out, okay? But does it fit us properly? Okay? You have a small face, okay? Small. Your face is small. But your N95 is large. Oh, how could it fit? Right? So there will be leakage. Or you have a big face, okay? Big. And then your N95 is very small. No, it does not fit. It will also have a leak. Right? So it's very important the performance of an N95 must properly fit the contour, the shape of your face. And not only that, you must not have earrings. You must not have, goatee or a whisker or a bird, okay? Or a mustache because it will compromise the integrity of your N95. So, it's a vast dynamics that we have to take a look at when we do the fit testing. So therefore, we will ask the question, what is a fit test, right? So if you can take a look at this slide, a fit test tests the seal between the respirator's face piece, this one, and your face. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes to complete the fit testing. So when we go to your building, Elma, Elizabeth, and me, for every employee, it will take us around that time, 15 to 20 minutes. So if they pass, if your employee will pass the fit testing, always remember this. That particular make, model, style, and size, for 1 year, that is what they are going to use or to wear. Meaning we are not going to fit test every month. That is crazy. Okay? It's only once a year. But there is already a waiver, that initial fit testing as part of the initial enforcement guidelines, okay, of OSHA, initial is already enough. So, when we fit test you, so we have to document the make, the model, the style, and the size. So, when you fit test you and you pass the fit testing using the port account, the quantitative, always memorize that this is the kind of make, model, style, and size that you are going to wear throughout the year. That is the meaning of a fit test. You see? So you cannot say, you pass this test using the make, model, style, and size, and then the following day, you get any N95. My friends, you violated. Because if you use another one, it will compromise now your respiratory system. That will not protect you. You see? So stay with it. If that is what you pass, maintain the course. Okay, let's move forward. Now, a lot of you say, oh, we don't need to do a fit test. A seal check is enough. My friends, a seal check is not enough. A seal check is just seeing to it that it is properly sealed, properly sits in the area of your nose and your face. So every time, therefore, you wear an N95 or any face piece filtering device, you have to do a seal check. That is every time you use. See to it that it sits in your bridge nose, okay? And it runs, okay, properly down towards your chin. And then you see to it that, it will not, there are no gaps, there are no spaces. That is very important. So that's why mirror nowadays is very important. So I hope you have mirrors in your bathroom or, I don't know, in your common areas, so that when your employees will start to wear, okay, they can, check, okay, whether it's properly sealed. Rather than imagining, okay, no, look themselves in the mirror. So that is what you do. It is a quick check performed by the wearer each time the respirator is put on. So in other words, if you pass the fit testing, every day you wear a respirator, you still have to do a seal check. See? So you take the picture here. That is what you call a seal check. See? This one is a surgical mask. The other one is an N95. The other one is a half face. Okay? What's this? Respirator. But it comes with a cartridge. They do the seal check. Inhale, exhale. So when they use the cartridge on the side, they want inhale. And they will see if there is air coming in. If there is none, then this cartridge is working. You see? Exhale. Then put at the front. So that is how it works when you do your seal check. So why do we fit test? To select reasons, okay? To select the reasons for selecting. So ensure user is able to obtain a proper fit. So our employees, we must ensure that they should obtain, okay, get the proper fit. Look the right, what's this? N95. And we are going to convince them, okay? This is the kind of N95 that would work for you. See, after trying on it, after using it, okay? Give them the opportunity, in other words, to choose. We don't tell them, hey, you wear this one, use this one when you do your fit testing. All of your N95s, the different make, model, style, and size, make it all available in the table. Let them choose. It is not us who is going to choose, because before the fit testing, they have to check first. Oh, this one does not feel good. It does not. I don't feel comfortable. I'm choking. I cannot breathe. Okay, look for another one. That is the most important. And on our end, Elma, Elizabeth, and me, okay, we will be there to assist them. Our role is not to see whether they will look handsome or ugly, or beautiful or ugly. Our role is to see to it that it is comfortable to them and it is safe. Okay, wear it. Let me see. This is how we are going to wear. That is how we are going to do. Okay? We will help them. And once they're done, then we will start with the fit testing. And of course, it should be based on OSHA regulation compliance. Which respirators require fit testing? See? We already discussed this. Loose fitting, no. So loose fitting are the helmets and the hoods. Of course, see? The helmets and the hoods. The air flow. But why are they wearing here? This is more or less not for the external factor coming into them. This is for oxygen. They breathe. So normally, all of this helmet and hood comes with a self-contained breathing apparatus. You know what is scuba? SCUBA. Self-contained U. Underwater breathing apparatus. Remove the U. Self-contained breathing apparatus. This is what they have. No need for a fit testing. You see? Because it comes with a portable oxygen. So regardless of the atmosphere, there is no oxygen, they can breathe, they can still do their work. You see? So we are here. It requires fit testing. We are with the half face or the quarter face. You can call that quarter face. And they are disposable, reusable, half face. And they also have the full face. All of these, they are tight fitting. When you say tight fitting, it's not only one strap. Normally two. Here, from the head. And then here also down. If it is one, no, we will throw. Please, no fit testing. It should be two strap. Okay? That is adjustable, or it could be just a garter. Okay? And then you can adjust it. Now, each model, style, make, and size used by your worker must be tested. So that is what we're going to do. Now, disposable. If you take a look at this, disposable. Yes, my friends. The N95 is one-time use. Throw, dispose. But that is only in normal circumstances. We are in an abnormal times. So CDC, CDPH came up with the guidelines. I'm sure you are the master. The extended use and the reuse. You see? Extended use. So if you are in the COVID wing, you're wearing the N95. Of course, when you eat, you have to remove, right? You have to remove. Okay. Other times, you have to remove during your break. Under normal circumstances, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, no more. Throw. Wear another one. But this one, reuse is allowed. But you have to observe the strict protocols on protecting that N95 that you're going to wear. Always wear gloves and place in an area where there will be no contaminants so that you can reuse. Right? But of course, at the end of your shift, throw, following day, come up with another one. Extended use because of the shortage in supply. Shortage. So instead of throwing, put in a paper bag and then mark the date. See to it that at least for 72 hours, it's there in the bag. Okay? I rate it. Okay? Ventilate it. So that, all of whatever it is inside there, it will just, through air, it will just die. Then, after 72 hours, wear. Why? Because of shortage of N95 respirators. So, I hope you have read that particular regulations. Now, question is, because the plan is, according to clinical consultants and we will only fit test, very important, we will only fit test those who will be assigned in the COVID unit, COVID, and also in your PUI or quarantine. So in other words, if you will not work in that ecosystem, we are not going to fit test you. Because only those people there that we need to protect because they have to wear the N95. The rest, no. We are wasting our N95 if you're the general population. In the business office, no. You just wear a bandana, a handkerchief, a surgical mask. That is allowed. Now, but the question is, what if an employee would like to wear? No, you know what, Joey? I don't feel safe. I want to wear my own N95. So that is what you call voluntary use. But do we need to fit test that person? The answer is no. Why? Because we did not require this employee to wear the N95. He just simply volunteered to wear the N95. So no need to fit test, right? But we have to see to it. We will tell this employee, hey employee, you must undergo medical evaluation. Oh, here's the medical evaluation, which I will discuss later. OSHA. Fill it up. And if your answers, one of them is yes, in section part 2, section B, if there is yes, please go to your doctor first before we will allow you to voluntarily use that N95. You see? So that is very important. Volunteers, no. You can wear, but you have to ask our permission. Because we have to see to it that you're working in an area where the permissible exposure limit, okay, you are within that range. And you have to use it in accordance with the manufacturer's use. See? So that is part of the respiratory protection program. So, can you volunteer? The answer is yes, but we have certain protocols in that regard. But most important, we don't fit test you. You are using it at your own risk. No, that's not the word, at your own risk. Because we still have the authority to see to it that you must wear it in accordance with the manufacturer's use, and then you are not assigned in an area where the particles, okay, would not penetrate the kind of respirator you are using. So this is basically the particular section regarding voluntary use of the respirator. And, good enough, I went to this particular slide. Yes, voluntarily you can use. Okay? However, the mask, the respirator, that you're wearing the filtering face piece respirator must be certified respirator by NIOSH. You see? So very important. Okay, you can wear, but let me see. Is it NIOSH approved? No, not NIOSH. I'm sorry, but we will not allow you to do that. You see? Because our role is still to protect the employees. So when do we conduct the fit test? See, we cannot conduct the fit test not unless you have your medical evaluation. I send you the medical evaluation from OSHA. That's why we are giving ourselves. We will not do it immediately on Monday, Tuesday, and you will see the schedule. But it does not mean this is a problem. No. All those who will be fit tested, please already identify. Not only those who are currently working in your, or previously working, currently working in your COVID and your quarantine or your POI, you must have your backup also. Because this is only a one-time fit testing. Already identify. And give them this medical evaluation. But it does not mean that they have to go to their primary care physician or to an industrial physician for them to get certified or evaluated by their physician before we can fit test. No. It is only when they answer, which remember that, okay, Part A, okay, Section 2. If there is one yes, and that is the time you say, oh, we're sorry, they will be arriving here on Monday, but since you have here one yes, you cannot. You still have to go to your doctor first. But if no in all of this, then we can proceed with the fit testing of that employee. You see? So we fit test them only once initially and annually. But as I've said, it has already been waived. But we will do a repeat fit test, not only annually, although it was already waived, okay, when you have decided as an employee to wear a different make, model, or size of a respirator. See? Perhaps you don't want this type of N-95 anymore because for some reasons you don't feel comfortable. Remember, employer, you cannot force an employee, oh, you fit tested and you pass, and then now you don't like it. No, it is the right of the employee to say, well, you know what, I don't feel comfortable with this type of N95, so give them another opportunity to look at the different N95s that you have. And when we do that, this must be a repeat test. And second, when the employee facial shape has changed as a result of an accident. God forbid. You see, the face was part of the accident, and then, you know, it broke some of, you know, the jaw or whatever. So, tendency is, it will now change the configuration, right? Or the dentures. Tendency perhaps, it changed your mouth, okay? Or you had surgery. Or you had piercings in your nose. Oh, you put here, in your nose. That is the right of an employee. Remember that, huh? National origin and race. Perhaps part of the religion. Or they want to put here, in their nose, or in their tongue. Or here, in their ears. Or perhaps, at the time we did the testing, they were only 125 pounds. And after 3 months, they become 280 or 200 pounds. So when you become 200 pounds, then tendency is, your face also will become wide, big. And so, the fit testing that we initially did when you were, at 125, will not fit you anymore, right? Because as you grow big, your face will become big. I don't know if someone will grow big and the face is still small. I really do not know if there is such thing. If there is, then no need, right? Okay? So, that is how it works. Now, medical evaluation. If you are a voluntary user, although we are not going to fit test you, but you still have to fill up the medical evaluation. We are doing this, ladies and gentlemen. All of you belong to management. We need to protect management. You need to protect your employer. Because we don't want to end up these employees, you know, seriously ill and worse death because of our failure to subject them to medical evaluation. Always remember, they don't have to go to their primary care physician, not unless if you have seen in this OSHA medical evaluation, okay, Section B, Part A, there is yes. If everything is no, no need. Okay? So the difference between medical evaluation and medical surveillance, you can see here. Before an employee, medical evaluation, of course, is entirely different. Before an employee uses a respirator or is fit tested, the employer must ensure their health status make them capable of doing so safely. So that is the purpose of the medical evaluation. And medical surveillance is entirely different. It is a continuous, systemic. There's a system for you to evaluate and assess an employee while wearing the N95. If it still filters or they feel safe or they feel comfortable with what the type of respirator they're using. So if they will have like adverse effect, health effect, despite having been fit tested, then it is a cause of concern, right? That is part of your medical surveillance. You cannot just say, oh, you did an N95 fit testing, you pass, and now you're complaining, you got... No, my friends, do not do that. We will immediately act on it. Perhaps there is something, perhaps there is an error on the way he is doing the seal check. Or perhaps before, when he fit tested, he has no mustache. Or perhaps before he has no sideburns, no goatee. And now he has goatee. He has, the bird. So then you tell him, the reason why you don't feel comfortable now, the reason why you got sick, it is because of your bird. You have to shave. Okay, remove the mustache. You must be clean shaven. See, that is how you're going to do with your medical surveillance. So who can fit test? So that is the question. Can anyone conduct a fit test? The answer is no. Okay? You must have... Okay. Can I have a break? Just give me 1 or 2 minutes, okay? Let me go here. Hold on. Okay. Okay.
A little bit cold, and she said that be careful what you say because we cannot get any the K-95 is approved, and it's just as a contingency. So because of that,
Yeah.
so you have to track it. Okay.
Okay. Sorry for the momentary break. Okay. Now, okay. Good enough. Thank you so much for the reminder. Look, when I say N95 size, I understand there are no sizes, right? You don't have the medium, the large, or the small. What we have are standard sizes. Okay? They are called one size fits all. We can do that regardless how big your face or small your face. You can use the one size fits all. That's why in our quantitative test data form, you see here, we have small, medium, large, extra large. You don't have this, that's fine. OS, you see? One size fits all. So what we're going to do, we will check. You see? So, because all of these N95s that we have, we cannot determine. Brandy will say, how many medium do you need? No, we cannot do that. There's no more time. They're not available in the market. See? So what we do, we will just also one size fits all. So what we're going to do, we will only mark the make, model, and the number. Size, we will just check OS, one size fits all. See? So, that is what we're going to do. Now, I understand that we have the KN95. Not all KN95s, okay, cannot be used. Because of the shortage of staffing, we still can use the KN95. If it is NIOSH approved, we will subject the KN95 to fit testing. But if this is not NIOSH approved, then we cannot fit test the KN95. Remember, only NIOSH approved can be fit tested. Now, so anyone with appropriate knowledge and experience is qualified to conduct the fit testing. So there is no formal certification necessary. And if you are a fit test administrators, and that is me and Elma and Elizabeth, Our role is to calibrate the equipment. We cannot just go there and bring the equipment. We have to do the daily test check. We use the HEPA filter to see to it that, the air, particles that go inside the tubing, then eventually that you're going to inhale, they are clean. The ambient air is clean. See? And then we have to perform the test properly. See to it that everything, the connection, the laptop is reading the port account, and then we have to recognize what is an invalid test, and then ensure the equipment is in proper working generally. Now, what we are going to use is the quantitative only. Quantitative versus qualitative. It's quantitative. It's numerical, right? So, it calculates the fit factors, but I will discuss that shortly later. And then, how come it's not moving here? Okay. So, these are your fit testers. See? We went through a certification class to assure you. Mary Beth has to see to it that we were properly certified. You see? So the three of us, Elma, Yusuf Ashraf, who is that? And Elizabeth Santoyo, we were properly trained. Not only the ordinary training, advanced type of training in regards to fit testing. So you see there, Elma, Yusuf is Joey, I don't know who he is, and then Elizabeth, Liz. So rest assured therefore that we know this particular subject matter. How come it's not moving again? Hold on. Okay, so done with the basics. So what are the two types of fit testing methods? One is the qualitative, abbreviation QLFT. And the type of machine that we use is the port account. So if you take a look at this, okay, you can see here on the left side, that is the type of machine that we're going to use. So you have the machine, the port account, and there is a tube. There are two. One is white, the other one is blue. And then you have your N-95, and then we have the computer. So we run the fit testing. You use the N-95, and then the port account has a connection to the computer, and that is where we get the quantitative. Well, this is wrong. It should be quantitative, not qualitative, Quantitative, sorry. I lack of sleep last night. So, quantitative, port account. And so, this is the process. There you go. You stand, and then we connect a probe. So, if this is your N95, this is the one that we're going to pierce. Anyone can see here? You see? We pierce here and then connect the tubing, the white. The blue one is exposed in the air, ambient air, but it is properly filtered using a HEPA filter. We have two of that in order to filter because we want to mimic an environment. It is a controlled environment where the particles are clean. You see? And then the white one, the particles that you're going to breathe. If you notice in this machine, the round one, there is an alcohol content of 80% or 75%. We dip it in a glass and then we insert it because it is going to replicate an aerosol particle that is clean. That is clean. So in other words, you will be safe. Both the concentration outside, the ambient air, and inside the concentration in that will deliver to the white tubing going to your N95. All of them, my friends, are clean. You see? They are properly sanitized. You will not end up with any type of respiratory problem. The purpose of doing this is to check whether it fit tests you. You see? So nothing to fear. So we can see whether it is properly fitted because a numeric number in this computer will show whether you have passed or not. You see? There is a type of exercise that you're going to undertake, which I'm going to discuss later. So this is the quantitative. Okay? Wrong. This one is qualitative. Earlier, it should be quantitative. Okay? So qualitative. This is the second form of fit testing. There are only two ways. Quantitative using the port account and qualitative. The qualitative is exactly what you see here. This is simply pass and fail. So there are four methods of using this. we use the Bitrex. It is a bitter taste. We squeeze, there is a solution that is bitter taste. And then the other one is saccharin. Saccharin is the chemical word for sugar, sweet. Banana oil, oh, you know already what is a banana. Irritant smoke. This one we're going to spray. So how do we do this? So you're like an astronaut. You wear this, okay? It's a hood. You wear your N-95. There is a hole in the middle. And then if the most common is the Bitrex. So the solution of the bitter solution, we pressed. And you need to smell and to taste the bitter solution. So if you taste it or if you smell it, it doesn't mean that you already passed the test. Because we have to do now the second testing. Because when we squeeze 10 times, oh, you are able to taste and smell the bitter solution. Stop. We will now go to the proper testing. So when we go to the proper testing now, you will go through the exercise. Normal breathing 10 times. If you don't smell, I press 10 times, okay, you pass. And then, okay, move your head. Sideways, left to right, 10 times. If you don't smell the bitter taste, pass. Okay, next test. Move your head. Up, down. Press 10 times. So, if in this exercise, you did not smell nor taste the bitter solution, you pass. That's it, done. So, that is how it works in a qualitative testing. So, these are just the differences, okay, in quantitative versus qualitative. So, in quantitative, port account, we use a numerical result. While in qualitative, it is pass or fail. That's it. And then the examples we use in qualitative, you can use saccharin, banana, irritant smoke. While in the quantitative, we use particle counters, controlled negative pressure. So I already discussed that with you. Because when you wear your N95, the pressure inside it is negative. Okay? Controlled negative pressure. And the counters, okay, particle, so the white tubing will go here in the probe. It will give you that particle, clean, that goes through an isopropyl alcohol, filtered. And the blue one, outside environment, through the HEPA filter, it's clean and go inside through that it can read. Okay? So therefore, in quantitative, the result is objective. While in qualitative, no. Because the person, the employee will say, oh, I can taste it. Oh, I can smell it. No, I can taste. So it is your sense of smell and taste that will determine whether you pass this test or not. Okay? So the format for quantitative is computer controlled, of course, because we attach a computer to the port account. While in qualitative, human administration. It's human being. Press. You're inside like a robot, and that determines. And then record keeping in qualitative, it's manual. They use the manual. In record keeping in port account, it is a software. So Elizabeth, who is going to manage these things, the laptop that we have, will go only print. She will just print. If you pass, if you fail, it will print. So that results will be placed in your personal file or in one binder for those who have been fit tested. So that demonstrated assign protection factor always for a half pace, which is our N95, is 10. The permissible exposure limit in a half pace is 10. Only 10. So 10 beyond, then you have to be fit tested. And it must be times 2. So when we times 2 the 10, that would be 100. So when we do your fit testing using the port account, your score must be 100. Okay? The total average score must be 100. You can fail in 1 or 2 of the exercise, but if the overall average comes to 100, then you pass the fit testing. So in a quantitative, it's only one person at a time. In qualitative, we can do 5 people at a time. You see here, this picture, there are 5. So you stand there, squeeze the solution bitter, and then done, here. But in quantitative, no. Only one, you go through the motion, 10 to 15 minutes, all the exercises. But of course, the port account is expensive. $14,000, but now it's already close to $20,000. While a qualitative, which you buy from 3M, it's $250. But of course, we have to buy the solution always when there are a lot of employees that we need to conduct the testing. In a quantitative, we need to calibrate every day. Before we start, we calibrate. That's why when we come into the building, give us 30 minutes because we need to set up the port account. We have to calibrate. We have to the daily check its alcohol content, check the ambient air, etc., etc. So, while in qualitative, no calibration, only minimal maintenance. So, preparing the fit test session before the fit test. So, this is very important. You inform all of your employees, those who will be fit tested, that there will be a fit testing on this particular date at this particular time. If you have questions, then, since I've already trained you, so they will ask you questions. Okay, what is that fit testing? Then you can already respond. And then, they must be clean-shaven. Tell them on the day of the fit testing. You see here the facial hairstyles. There are a lot of facial hairstyles here. The XXX cannot be. Those with check, I don't know, this is my first time to see what kind of bird. Zappa is okay, Walrus is okay, Chevron is okay, Handlebar, okay, clean shaven. So all the green here, meaning they can go fit testing. Otherwise, they cannot. You see? And then the medical evaluation must be completed. As I've said, if there is one yes in section B of part A, they cannot proceed with the fit testing. They have to go to their primary care physician. And then you must make available all of the respirators that you have. Available because give them the opportunity to choose what they need to wear in order to fit test them. And then the training component, of course, I will be there. I'm going to train them. I'm going to orient them. Not exactly what I'm doing now. 10 minutes, 5 minutes, done. That's what I'm going to do. So you see the facial hair is very important. Especially men, including women. So women, if your hair, you have to properly, what do you call that? Tie it. Nothing will, fall into the sides of your face. Otherwise, the strap is going to compromise the seal of your respirator. So if you can take a look at here, number one, you can see here, the N-95, the half face. So if you have a bird like Santa Claus, cannot be. Or if you have this, the full bird, okay, like Abraham Lincoln, cannot be. You're not allowed. And I don't know who is this person with a mustache pit. You call it a mustache pit. You know this mafia in the past. The capo, the tutti capi, huh? They are the mafia. That's how they were. Cannot. You have to be judged like George Washington. Clean shaven. Please tell your employees. So how do we do it? We're almost there, my friends. So when we go to your building, it's very important. The area that we're going to fit test must be a private area where there are no lot of activities. So we suggest a common area, wide in space, no activities, no communal activities at all, accessible to those who will get fit tested, and free from any airborne contaminants. Of course, we're pretty sure you cannot do the fit testing in the COVID wing or the quarantine wing. No. You have to place us in a room where, in the area where, away from the COVID and the quarantine wing. Hand washing, of course, it must be accessible and to drinking water nearby. And then you must have a waiting area for test subjects. Of course, as I've said, we need 3 tables. So when they come in, there is a table. All of those to get fit tested, they have to fill up a certain form. And then give them another table where they're going to choose their N95s. In front of that, or perhaps beside that, there is a mirror. So because whatever N95 that they choose, they have to look themselves at the mirror whether it properly fits. So when they're done, then they can now move to the port account where Elizabeth is, and she's going to do that. In the meantime, those who are going to wait, my role is to train them already and brief them. See? That's how we're going to do. Now, because of the port account that we have, we need a Wi-Fi access. Please make it available to us because we want to print the results immediately. Elizabeth is going to bring a portable printer. So when you're done with the fit testing, boom, Elizabeth is going to print it. The results will immediately come out. So we need a surge protector, okay, with at least four, outlets where we can plug. And then the fit test documentation, I gave it to you. Let them fill it up in advance. Remember, you have to submit to us in that form in advance by Monday. Who are the people or employees that you're going to get fit tested? As I've said, you must have a contingency plan. Do not just confine to those who serve in the past and currently. Always look forward. Who are the possible frontline healthcare workers that would perhaps work in the COVID or quarantine wing? We have to fit test them because remember, the port account that we have, we only rented this. Remember, it's $20,000. So we only have 1 month and a half to use this. So send the names. I already sent it to you in advance so that when I send it to Elizabeth, she will now input that in the computer. So that when we go to your facility, the names are already there. So Elizabeth will just click your name, okay, Tugong. You will go to letter T, click, what facility, click, and then start fit testing. Rather than without providing that to us, what would happen is it will take time because Elizabeth will still have to type your name, job classification, make and model. No, so it's we will waste the time of your employees, right? So all supplies must be assembled. We must have gloves. Never, under any circumstances that your employees is going to touch your N95 without wearing gloves. They must wear gloves. And of course, yours truly, Elma and Elizabeth, we will always wear gloves. All the time. You must have hand sanitizer. Of course, if we're going to eat during our break, we have to remove our gloves, right? We must have hand sanitizer. And again, if possible, there must be a mirror. We have this mirror, safety first, donated by Lucky Lipa. Put that in the room so that they can properly, check the particular N95 respirator. And if properly, they feel comfortable, then they can move with the testing that we have. So we must have the sign-in forms. We have that with me. I have the sign-in forms. I'm going to bring it with us. And then, of course, this is what I have discussed earlier. This you submit to us so that we can already input in the computer. Or perhaps you want to bring a razor or a shaving cream. Perhaps on that day, yesterday, shave. The following day, it grew, 5 centimeters immediately. At least there is a shaving cream, razor, then go there first and then you shave. So this is how you're going to set up. So what is respirator fit testing? We know that. It checks whether the respirator that you're going to wear properly fits the face. Okay? That's how it is. Okay? It is the ability to make the mask protected from the air outside to the employee's respiratory system. That is what it is. So what do we do in a respirator fit testing? The picture that you see here in this particular slide, that is how it works. You see here this color red or violet. So these are the areas that there is possible leakage. So that's why it must be properly fit when we run the fit testing. We'll have to see to it that there are no gaps. Because if there is a gap, when we run the first exercise, you will already fail. It will say failed. And we have to restart it all over again. You see? So that is the purpose. We see to it properly sealed. There are no gaps. Because this machine will determine whether there is gap or not. And it is a controlled laboratory. There are certain clean air particulate that will deliver from the port account and also from the ambient air. You know what is an ambient air? Ambient air is an atmosphere. It is an atmosphere in its normal state. See, that is what is being delivered. So when we say in its normal state, then therefore it should be at least 78% nitrogen and at least 21% oxygen. And we have a filter that will come in. See? So scientific studies have shown that if the mark size and shape is correctly fitted to the employee's face, they will be better protected in hazardous workplaces. See? And they will pass the fit test. That is our goal for them to pass. So we fit test why? For the safety of our employees. That is our goal. Another layer. And we provide comfort, sense, and security to our employees. You see? We don't just throw them in the COVID wing. Hey, wear the N95. Observe donning and doffing. Beyond that, we will assure them that you are safe, your respiratory system. See? You will be protected from whatever particles outside that permeates in the COVID wing. And then, very important, it is their comfort. Give them the opportunity when we do the fit testing so that when they use that, they pass the test. At least when they go into the COVID wing, it is as if it is just a part of their body. Second nature. They won't even feel it. They will not even be conscious about it. That is the purpose. And of course, we have to train them, and this is what we're doing. And during the fit testing, we're going to train them. So this is the challenge before us. Our role, risk management, is to see to it that everyone has a good fit. We don't want bad fit. We can only have a good fit if they properly don the N95 before the testing. Because if not that properly done, incorrectly, no matter what, despite our goal to have a good fit, it will not fit them. They will fail. Of course, if it is a bad fit, even though you don correctly, you will fail the test. See? So, it is very important. NIOSH approved comes in first. The make, the model, and of course the size. Thank you for reminding me. No medium, large. Everyone is one size fits all. It will still work. So did you know employee comfort takes precedence because that is what is being laid out in the Cal-OSHA regulations. So who needs to be fit tested? Anyone can be fit tested. Okay? With the make, model, style, and size of the respirator that an employee would like to wear. Give them the opportunity. And what we are going to do is the quantitative fit test, or what we call the porta count. So you can see on the right side, that is exactly the machine that we are going to use that we rented. So that is how it works. So you wear it, we connect it, and then you go through a process of an exercise. And then it will give the numeric factor in every exercise. And what we are using is not a generated aerosol. We are not going to do that. We are going to do the ambient aerosol, meaning the natural state of atmosphere from the outside that goes into the color blue tubing. And then the controlled negative pressure, that is the white one, that goes into your N95 generated by the machine itself. If you see at the front, there is this round thing, there is an alcohol, isopropyl of at least 75%. That is the one that would generate a pure state of air that would enter your negative pressure mass. And that would determine now whether there is leakage through a particular exercise. So what we do, it numerically measures the amount of leakage and every exercise that you do. These exercises, these are the things that you normally do in the workplace. So we want you to replicate it. So when you replicate it, then the porta machine is going to determine whether every time you do body movements or face movements, whether it causes leakage. Because if it causes leakage, then it will show you fail. You see? So what we do in a porta machine, qualitative, we determine the fit factor. So fit factor is there is already an assigned protection factor, what we call the APF. For a half-face respirators like an N95, what is given is 10, right? 10, which I discussed earlier. That is the permissible exposure limit. So we must have 10 times. So your score, ideally, for every exercise must be 100. But what the porta count does is that even though you fail in 1 or 2, but if the overall weighted average is 100, then you still pass. So the fit factor determines the particles, okay, concentration outside, which is the ambient air, and also the inside generated by the porta count, and it will give you the fit factor. So this is how it looks like. So APF stands for assigned protection factor, and for a half-face respirators, it is already given 10. See? 10. This is science. We cannot argue with that. So times safety factor, you must score at least 100 for every exercise. So this is your N95, and then you see the outside ambient air here, and then we have the inside, the tubing. We will, the machine will bombard you with that. So if it is not properly sealed, it will leak, and it will give you the result that you failed. So this is the fit factor: concentration outside the mass and concentration inside mass. So in other words, we are replicating a laboratory environment that is controlled. See? Concentration out, concentration in. The blue tubing is the concentration out. That's the ambient particle. The mass particle, the concentration in, is generated by the porta machine. Okay? It's the alcohol base is going to distribute air. That is how it works. And for a filtering phase piece, the N95, N99, P100, whatever it is, you must score 100 for each. See? So, almost done. OSHA fit testing procedure. Give the employee the option to choose a respirator. So, once he chooses that, our role is to show him how to properly don and doff the respirator. See? Of course, always wear a glove. And then, we ask the employee, when you wear the glove, put on, and then we ask the employer, is it comfortable? Because if he is not comfortable, then get another type of respirator. Get another make or model. You see? And then show it to the employee. Okay? And if he's not comfortable with this, give another one. So the option is with the employee. So once he already has he will say, well, this one has a good fit to me. I feel comfortable. Then we will give him the opportunity to use it for 5 minutes. Use it for 5 minutes. We will ask, do you feel okay with that? Yes, I feel okay. Okay? Move towards there. Go to Elizabeth. We'll start with the fit testing. So we assess the comfort. Position the mask on the face. Must be room for eye protection. You cannot put the mask here in the middle of the eye. Otherwise, you're going to hit the resident. You're like blind. Cannot do that. There must be a room to talk. You can talk normally. Okay? Position the mask on the face and the cheeks. And then you assess the fit before we do the fit testing. Chin properly placed. The strap tension is very important. It must not be too tightened. Not too tightened, but adequately strapped. And then respirator proper size to span distance from nose to chin. Is that also, that is normal. Not one that would, press your chin and your nose, Otherwise, you cannot talk anymore. You cannot talk. So it should be give a room to talk, because talking is part of the exercise. So there is a mirror. Observe, see if it's okay. But you're not going to look at the mirror to see whether you're handsome or beautiful. No. It's about safety. Tendency of respirator to sleep. If it's sleep, then no way. We're not going to fit test you. So it must fit across the nose bridge. Assess user seal check. And of course, confirm there is no hair growth. See? You see the XXXX. If there are hair growths, my friends, no. We cannot do the fit testing. It must be clean shaven. You can have a mustache here. Okay, but properly trimmed, because the mask can still cover. Okay, seal. But if the mustache is going to go outside the mask, then cannot be. It will compromise. So, if the employee we're going to fit test has difficulty breathing in the process of fit testing, we will stop. Safety first. That is very important. So, if they don't feel comfortable, then they can choose another, N95 that is available. And then we are going to walk through to the employee. This is how it works. No surprises. Mr. Joey Tugum, before they're going to do that, in front of them, if they are 10 or 15, I'm going to orient them. Give them a picture. This is what you're going to do. The process. You see? We will already condition their mind. And then don any applicable safety equipment that may be worn during actual respirator use. Then boom! There you go. We are already going to fit test you. So this is the last. Okay. So, we go to an exercise. We are replicating an environment and a physical activity in a workplace when you attend to your residents or when you do your activities in the facilities, right? So, when you wear this one, connected to the port account. See? When you are this one, 60 seconds, normal breathing, but you're standing up. Normal breathing for 60 seconds. And then once you're done normal breathing 60 seconds, it will immediately show in the computer whether there is leakage or not. It will show green, pass. But if it will show like red, meaning failed. Failed. But do we stop? No. Continue, continue, continue. Because we get the weighted average of each exercise. If the total will show 100, then okay. So when you're done with your normal breathing, then after the 60 seconds, deep breathing. For 60 seconds, deep breathing. So why do we do that? Because we want to know whether your N95 is going to leak with the deep breathing. Right? And then after 60 seconds, turn your head side to side. But do not jerk your head. Do not. Only normal. Because if you jerk your head too fast, then 101%. You will fail. So just do normal. Side to side, for 60 seconds. And then when you're done, move up and down. Do not jerk. Only slow. Up, down. Up, down. So while this is connected, up, down for 60 seconds. Pass, it will show that if you pass or fail. Then number 5. After 60 seconds, number 5. We are going to give you a material to read. For 60 seconds, you read. But read only normally. Do not read fast. Do not read too loud because otherwise, it's going to leak. It will open up. And do not stop talking. Continue talking because when you stop talking, the machine will say fail. So continue to talk. Number 6, grimace. We already excluded this. A grimace is, you know how to grimace, right? Because if you grimace, 99.9%, we will fail. Because tendency is, our N95 is going to stretch and it will compromise. There will be leakage. So no more grimace. Then you go to number 7, you bend. Bend. Bend for 60 seconds. I will show you how to bend, right? Bend like that. 60 seconds. And when you're done with 60 seconds, go back to normal breathing, 60 seconds. See? These are the exercises that we are going to simulate when we do the fit testing. So when you pass, then we will already fill this up. There's a form that you pass, sign, you sign, put this in a one binder so that when Cal-OSHA or the CDPH surveys will come in, so you have them in a binder, but also put this in their personal file. See? So this is the one that our office is going to fill up. This one, fill up individual for the employee. This one is to be filled up by Joey Tugong and Company. Everyone who were fit tested. Okay? And then I will sign. Acknowledge that all of these pass the fit testing. So this is the one that you can show to the surveyors. You see? If they want individual, in the personal file. So I don't have to go through this one by one. And then this is the schedule, my friends. I'm already done. Okay? I know all of you are hungry. So we will start with Weld Springs of September 15. If you notice here, then followed by Harbor Post Acute Care Center. So you just go through this. It's in your email. I emailed you. If you notice here, we don't do fit testing on Monday and Friday. Why? Because we also have to work. We have a lot of things in the office. Your background screening, especially me. I'm out one day, I get almost 100 emails. So we have to work Monday and Friday. We only do the fit testing every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And the time is 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock p.m. Of course, as I've said, give us 30 minutes to set up, to calibrate our machine. See, just go through this. Of course, these are subject to change. If for some reasons you have a survey, then we are not going there, right? Or if for some reasons we are not available also, then we will inform you in advance. Can you exchange the dates? Then discuss that among you. You can exchange the dates. So Cherry Valley, October 1. You see, you go through this. And lastly, we will go to Arizona. That will be October 20. Now for group forms, I suggest, since you're only small, then you can send 5 of them, 1 for each group form, send to Golden State, and we are going to do the fit testing there. So it will take us more than 1 month to do the fit testing. So my friends, ladies and gentlemen, Joey and his angels, meaning Elma and Elizabeth, will see you soon. Okay?
I have a question for you. Please don't go yet.
Who is this? Identify yourself.
This is Catherine from Sierra Valley.
Okay, do not shame me. Okay? What kind of question is that?
Okay. On the examination form that's in the ATD procedure manual that you gave us, the sample one, I just have a question regarding it because it says that they will be sending the questionnaire, that the employee will send it to the healthcare provider or the professional in regards to it. It says I just want to know if this is a requirement or if this is just something we can remove. It says to maintain confidentiality, your employer or supervisor must not look at your review or your answers, and your employer must tell you how to deliver and send the questionnaire to the healthcare professional.
Okay. And so, yeah, you want to do that, you can do it.
No, I don't want to do it. It's on the questionnaire. I want to remove it.
Okay, yeah, remove it. Remove it if you want to. Okay, because, yeah, because the reason why we really need to do this, because I don't have problems with CDPH. CDPH would just like to find out whether you have fit tested employee. But it is the OSHA, when they come into the building, okay, you provided us the fit test records, you did this, but where is the medical evaluation questionnaire for each of those that were fit tested? So that is an area that we have to be very careful. That's why we need to have it. But as I've said, if the answer is no in section part A, section 2, okay, is that all of them no? No need to go to the doctor. You don't have to. No, meaning he is physically healthy, no problem.
Okay.
You see?
Last question. You're going to come to fit test everybody. Great. That's great because it's going to get the majority of our staff. But moving forward in regards to, new hires, are we going to have maybe a smaller kit so we could do
No.
it ourselves?
No. Yeah, it's like this. Why? All of your new hires, are you going to put them in the COVID and the quarantine or the PUI? Remember this. All of this, you're only going to fit test those who are going to be assigned or will be assigned in your quarantine and COVID. Why? We don't give N-95s to those in the general population. No. We are conserving our N-95s.
Well,
Right?
I do understand that, but the regulation says all employees will be
No,
fit
it has
tested.
already been waived. Okay, what we do is only an initial testing. Annual has been waived, and the initial testing is only confined to those who will be assigned in the COVID or quarantine wing.
That's
Yes.
correct, Joey. That's correct, Catherine.
Yeah.
You don't have to, yeah.
Okay, so what happens when we do hire somebody that we need for that type of care? Are you guys going to come to fit test those employees?
It's
I
like
just wanted to prepare, that's why.
it's like this. This is only one time. This is only one time because we just rented this out. We cannot
Right.
do this. Now, if you want to, Maribeth already and I have discussed this. Under normal circumstances, actually, ideally, we will just use the qualitative. Remember the saccharin, the Bitrex test, where you wear a hood? Then we can do that. If you want that, I understand Heritage, they have that. So you can buy one. I can go there. It's only around $240. You can do that.
You can order it from Medline.
Or from Medline.
I was
Then,
going to get that is if we can get something
Yeah.
like that because we're so far away and then that way we're prepared in case we need it.
right. So
Yes, I
my
think did we order one for her, Brandy?
No, only the rep for the Torrance area offered us, so maybe she needs to contact her Medline rep for that area.
Yeah, it's difficult to get, but call your Medline rep, Catherine.
Okay, will do.
So,
Thank you.
in addition to that, so any of our buildings, if you're going to buy for the saccharin, the Bitrix or the irritant smoke, buy them and we will go there. We are going to train you. The only problem with that initially with the enforcement guidelines is because of high risk for contamination. Because if you use that one for employee and then you use that for another employee, so we may never know that that employee is symptomatic. Now you use that gear in another employee and it's covered. Now they might end up with exposure potentially to a COVID. You see? So that's why Maribeth agreed to our proposition. We'll do the port account. But when normal circumstance will come in, then we'll get the port account. We can just use what's this? The saccharin or the Bitrix test. Okay? So, do you have any questions? I'm available for any of your questions. Huh?
There.
Or I'm just talking only to 2 or 3 people ever since.
Thank you, Joey, though. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Okay, you're welcome, Beth.
Informative.
Okay, thank you so much, and I'll see you. See you soon, and starting next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
By the way,
Bye.
Beth, Elizabeth, do you have any question? Elizabeth, do you have something to add? Or did you already leave?
No,
Unmute. So, do you have any question?
no question.
Something to add.
No, nothing to add either.
Okay.
Hi, Joey. Heritage has a question.
Okay.
On the evaluation, what if you check yes? Do you have to go to doctor first before fit test?
Agree. Go to the doctor. You can send them to our industrial clinic. Industrial clinic. Why are we going to do that? Because we want to protect the employees. Because we don't want to end up with workers' comp. You understand? Because if we insist without them going to the doctor, and then they were not certified, and we do the fit testing, and then in the process they end up with some exposure to, an illness, then we end up with problems. But when I went through this on my own, the answer is no. I'm okay.
Joey, we have a question. Joey,
Yes, Ring.
so we have, the evaluation has a lot of where one can be a yes, like, asthma or shortness or whatever it is, diabetes, high blood pressure. It's a yes.
Yes.
No.
So, if you say yes, and the answer no, then we are safe because we will, we will consider the document that they answer. Because,
They say yes, they need to go to the.
they need to go to their primary care physician, and if they don't have one, then send them to our industrial clinic. Yeah. Because we don't want also Ring, they have all of these things, and then we move forward without having been evaluated by their primary care physician, and in the process of the fit testing, they ended up, with an illness or an injury, then that would be problematic. It becomes problematic.
So can we get more time because
Yes.
we have to go to their doctor?
Uh,
They won't be able to get a appointment.
no, our industrial clinic is more, is they can facilitate.
So we can just send them there?
Yeah, the industrial clinic, yes. We have
So
to.
you need to, Joey, you need to tell me if they check yes for high blood
Ah,
pressure.
yes.
They have to see a doctor.
Yes, Beth. Yes.
What if they waive it? What if they say,
If they waive it, then that's not. We can move forward.
okay, so if they're just concerned,
Yeah.
okay.
In other words, we're giving them the opportunity. But if they say, there's no problem, Ring, it's okay with me. I will just sign a waiver. I'm okay. I'm good to go with the fit testing. Okay. Let's move
Why
forward.
don't we just do that then? Let's just do that, have a waiver.
Right. We can have a waiver. Yeah. They can just sign. No need. Yeah, because we don't control, we don't own them, we don't control them. If they say, no, I want to move with the fit testing, I don't need it. Okay. Sign a waiver that you will proceed with the fit testing.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mhm.
I think
I will prepare one in that regard. I will bring it with me. I will send it to you, by the way, before I go to the facility.
And then Joey, really quick, you're scheduled from 10 to 4.
Yes.
That's about 24 people. If
Uh,
it's 15 minutes each.
Yeah, 15 minutes. Yeah, 15 minutes each.
So 24, that's about 24 people only.
Well, do you have 20? If for some reasons, as I said, subject to change, if we are not done that day, we can return the following day. And then for the other facilities, we will just move. That's why I say subject to change.
Okay.
And then we can even do it up to 5 o'clock, up to 6 o'clock. It's not that doesn't mean that. And at 4, no, we're done, no. We can go beyond 4 o'clock.
Because we would need to, it's better to schedule the actual person on a time slot so that they don't come out.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. We will be in the building the whole day until such time we will be done. So if some of them will come in at 5 or 5:30, we will be there. We will do it.
Okay.
Okay? So everything,
So
therefore, is...
11, the 3 to 11, do you usually come at 3.
Yeah, we will still be there.
So you can, so it's not only 1 hour left.
No, 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 no. We are flexible. Everyone, we are flexible. We can go up to 5, up to 6, up to 7. We will be there. We will do it.
Okay.
Okay? So, any questions?
Well Springs has one.
Yes.
Are you going to have a respiratory protection PNP manual available for the facility?
I will send it to all of you. I have one. So, it's a template. What you do, you have to work on it. You remember this, one of our facilities, I'll tell you, 4 inches. And those 3, including the N-95, ATD exposure, they asked. And I have everything. And we were able to give it to them. And no question asked. Their mouth was shut. Yeah. We complied everything. So we're looking at one of the facilities now that might end up with, yeah, of course, definitely an OSHA investigation. I already know the drill. They will ask whether we have a written respiratory protection program, N-95, ATD exposure control plan. These are very basic. So if you don't have it, then you must have it in place. And I will send them to you. I will send them to you on Monday so that you'll be prepared. Anything else? Liz, Elma, do you have something to say? No? Elizabeth?
Well said.
Elizabeth,
Done. So mute.
unmute. I guess we're done, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's it. Thank you so much for your time. See you soon. Thank you. Bye.
You got 55 attendees.
Hmm?
55.
Okay bang presentation natin?